Oh goodness, I'm back. I totally forgot about a whole other set of trays I gotta do. Beetle swap, so we're doing them. Beetle swap, so we're doing them. Okay, let's do beetle swap again. Totally forgot about these in the back. I just had a live going, so sorry to stop and then start again. But here we are. Whew. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Justin, and this is Midwest Mealworms. Well, this is... Oh my goodness, I turned the light off. Let me turn that light on so you guys can see back there. So we are in Midwest Mealworms here in Ashland, Missouri. And we're going to do some beetle swap. I just got done with the live. I thought I was done anyway. And I was just going to clean up. There's really nothing impressive about me cleaning stuff up, so I went ahead and stopped, but I got more to do. Any office fans out there? But what I'm doing now is swapping these trays out. Making sure that the egg distribution is as even as it can be. I do this once a week. Well, now it's we, myself and my part-time employee. She is super helpful. What do you use for substrate? Hello, Beth. Awesome question. So this is wheat bran. It's nice and flaky. It works very well from a process perspective. I like it a lot better than oats. Oats are real dense. They'll hold moisture real well, or too well. Real prone to mold. And are harder for me to get. I'm building one tomorrow and I was wondering, I have 5,000 mealworms coming. So I use this wheat bran here. I get it from my feed store. It comes from Siemer, S-I-E-M-E-R. I've used this for 7 years. Long time. I really like it because the mealworms eat it real well. It's got all the nutrition that they need outside of moisture, so you're still gonna have to have moisture. But I absolutely love it because it works well from a process perspective. Depending on where you can get it, you might get a different texture. So I actually just got this. This is samples of wheat bran from a company in Illinois, different from Siemer. Farm to Flour. They're actually here on Facebook. One word, Farm to Flour. And the 2 is the number 2. Not T-O or T-W-O. The number 2, Farm to Flour. So far the mealworms seem to be liking it. The beetles seem to be liking it. I'll know in 3 months if it still has the same production value as the wheat bran I've been using forever. If you can't get a hold of wheat bran, a lot of people will say they can't because some stores won't carry it until you have a certain quantity that you can get. So oats will work. Oat flour is fine. You just want to be careful that you don't add too much moisture in because the oats will just grab it. It also makes sifting harder, but they're all challenges you can overcome if that's all you can get. I tried before, but my mealworms kept getting little white bugs. Am I doing something wrong? Little white bugs are grain mites. I can almost guarantee it. That actually came up on the last live. I was doing one just before this one and wrapped it up, but somebody there had asked about grain mites there as well. And what I would recommend is, what is this? That's interesting. What I would recommend is what you are probably not doing is either deep freezing at 0 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 days, or heating your bran or your substrate, whatever you're able to get, bran, oats, etc. And what's likely happening is the grain mites that are in everything, every kind of grain you can get, hence their name, they are hatching and coming out. It's totally normal. Happens to everyone. I had a grain mite outbreak in this farm in 2023. And so, a couple things. If you don't have them right now, in order to proactively avoid them, take your bran or your oats, whatever you get, and you want to deep freeze it for 2 days. At least 2 days. You want to make sure it gets down to 0 Fahrenheit on the inside before you start that timer. But if you do that for 2 days, you'll have good success. I have here, that's what I do. Some people will bake it, and they will argue that the only way to guarantee it is by baking it. And so that's one option. I don't know what time or temperature, since I can't do that here. It's not procedurally possible or operationally possible because I don't have the space to do that, or the ovens, etc. Defreeze the deep, as in not just your regular fridge freezer, or like kitchen freezer. You want to use a deep freezer, 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Deep as in deep freeze. But that, whoops, sorry about that. Do that for 2 days, and that will really, really help. The other thing to do is to keep your moisture level under control. So grain mites love humidity. So I keep my farm at 50% humidity. You could go higher. They actually grow, the mealworms grow better, but so do the mites. So keep your moisture level in check. If you have drawers that close and like keep everything, there's nothing open, that's going to increase the humidity within the drawer. So keep that in mind. Oh crap, what am I doing? I get to talking and I messed up. I need this out of here. I'll put that over here. The other thing that I would recommend you do, and I'm going to throw a lot at you, Beth, but all this information that I'm going to tell you is on my website. If you go to MidwestMealworms.com and you search for mites or mite, you'll get to the grain mites page. And I've got all these things that I'm going to run through that are going to help you, and then you'll be able to figure out, again, how to proactively avoid them. Humidity. If you are to get a grain mite outbreak, lower your humidity down to 20 to 30%. Grain mites hate that. They really don't like it. Your mealworms are going to struggle a little bit, so you're going to have to hydrate them well. And what I recommend for that is to give them potatoes, carrots, whatever you normally give them. Give it to them, let them eat for 2 or 3 hours, and then pull it all out. And basically what you're going to do is starve out those grain mites from moisture. And you're going to do that for 2 to 3 weeks at least. Make sure you get everything squared away. The other thing you want to have on hand, if you're going to raise these mealworms for any length of time, you want to have split pea flour. So split peas that are, you go to your store and you get canned canned peas. You want to get split peas that are dried and then grind them up. There's a nice research paper that showed that split peas kill grain mites. And I can attest that they do. I use it in my farm. I have it on hand at all times so I can deal with outbreaks as they happen. And again, if you head to MidwestMealworms.com, you will be able to search for mites and you'll get all that information. I used to sell split pea flour. I don't anymore. It's just not something that's worth keeping in stock and messing with. So I'm not trying to make money off of you. And on that website, on that page, it will actually link you to the research paper that proved that the split pea flour is bad for those mites. So there's scientific research, and then it's a very, very common thing in the mealworm farming community, believe it or not. And so everyone will recommend that you get split pea flour. I believe I saw coming. I remember getting a mealworm waste allergy when I tried to breed. Not fun. Yes! Oh my goodness. Scooter girl? Cindy. We're going to go with Cindy. Yes, the reason my voice sounds so odd and crazy is because I have a full face respirator on right now. Here, I'll prove it. It's going to get real close, guys. Real close. Ah! See? Full face respirator, filters. We're going to turn that back around. And the reason for that, no! Oh no, I'm one of those old people that can't operate their own phone. There we go. The reason for that full face respirator, is exactly what you mentioned there, Cindy. The waste, what you're talking about with the mealworm waste, is their frass, which is this. This giant tote here is full of it. See that? Nice and sandy, and look at the dust, right? So mealworms and mealworm frass are actually allergens. And so if you don't have pre-existing conditions, like I had allergy-induced asthma prior to raising mealworms. And once I started raising them, I realized real fast that they will trigger my allergy-induced asthma. But if you do not have any issues, somebody in here is probably going to say, oh, I did it, I was fine. That's great. Reach back out to me in a year after not wearing a mask and taking care of yourself and tell me if you're still raising mealworms or if you developed some kind of weird cough and couldn't get rid of it, or some sort of sty on your eye. Yep. And I'm not trying to be dramatic and get you to not raise it so that I can make money. I just want you to be careful, because it's true. You can go check my page. I wear my mask all the time in here when I'm working, and I don't do that because it's fun or because it feels good. I do it because it keeps me working. I was fine for months, and the eyeball swelling randomly began. I feel you. Eventually you can get it. Yep. And it sucks. Like, it's, I don't wish it upon anyone. It's not fun. I forgot what I was doing here. I get to talking sometimes and I just get lost. It is not fun. And then you lose your ability to raise them. And that stinks, because that's a really good feeling to raise these insects and feed them to your reptiles, to your chickens, the things that you take care of that mean a lot to you. And so it's a rough thing to have to deal with. So I fully recommend a full face respirator. I know they're expensive. I think it's like $120 right now for the good ones. I do not know about the ones that they sell here. I haven't used them, haven't tried to use them. Mine is a 3M. And I really back them because it's been super helpful. Leave it to the professional. Wait, is that me? I'm the professional? Oh goodness, we're in trouble. Got my scoop. I'll follow you so I can make future orders. Oh, wonderful! Yeah, I ship out every Monday, so I actually shipped out today. Even though it's a short week, had a few orders from people that it only takes a couple days to get to where it needs to go, but every Monday I ship out. Hey! I recognize that name there. Hello, stranger. I'm just doing some work. It's my second live for the day. I was doing one earlier and I thought I was done, so I wrapped up, and then I turned around. There's a whole nother stack of work back there I had to do, so I'm back. I live in a super small town. We have no pet stores at all for 2.5 hours. Well, and not to disparage my competitors, but the stuff in the work is never done. That's right. The stuff in the pet stores is really a toss-up. If you get it when it's fresh, then you're fine. But a lot of times, you know, and this isn't the employee's fault. Capitalism drives this, right? They're underpaid, understaffed, and so they don't have the time to refresh those containers of mealworms and keep them nice and healthy, and then so you've got to deal with it when you get them, and I totally understand. if there was a way to make that easier, that would be ideal. When I go to expos, I stock up or order online. I'll maybe show you the process. Yep, I've got all sorts of stuff posted. Sometimes it's fairly random. I'm doing a push-up challenge now, so that's some random stuff that's on there, but I like to share everything I do here because, not to be you know, a downer or anything, but someday I won't be here, so I like to just share my knowledge and experience because sharing got me where I am, and it'll get me further. What is that in the Mylar bag? This guy, that's the new brand. So believe it or not, this is wheat bran, which is crazy because, like, I'm used to this kind of wheat bran, this flaky stuff. And so I found a company actually here on TikTok, Farm to Flour. The 2, it's all one word, and the 2 is the digit 2, Farm to Flour. They're in Illinois. And so this is organic wheat bran. It's a little finer than what I'm used to, but I'm testing it out to see how it'll work. So I can get a different supplier, hopefully. Have a backup supplier. Excuse me. Just in case anything crazy happens with the incoming tariffs or lack thereof, who knows, just preparing. And honestly, even without all that stuff happening, it's good to have multiple suppliers from a business risk mitigation perspective. So the downside is, to test all this stuff, I've got to spend the next 3 months tracking and documenting and making sure everything's okay, because these larvae won't grow, they won't be ready to harvest for 3 months. And so I won't know if this is an equivalent type of bran, or if it, you know, if it takes an extra month for these guys to grow, that's not going to work. Cat poo. No, Moose, there's no cat poo here. This is all mealworm poo. Well, like, this isn't mealworm poo. I'm sure there's some beetle poop in here. Get some more bran. Oh my gosh, kind of stupid here. WV Heathen, were all those stacks of trays mealworms? Most of them. And by stacks, I'm assuming... Goodness, I need a drink of water. By stacks, I assume you mean all of these. And the answer to that is most of them, because... Let's just take a short walk down this way. Yes, okay, perfect. This row here and these 2 stacks are beetles. So this is the adult portion of their life. So the beetles will party hard, they'll mate, they'll lay eggs. We separate the beetles out so that it's just the substrate, because the beetles will eat. That's a lot of worms. Yes, it is. The beetles will eat the eggs, believe it or not. And so we separate them out, and then they go back into the system. And the system is really just storage, to be honest. All tracked and documented. I do not have dubias, no. Just mealworms. Soon I'll have silverfly larvae, but no dubias. These are almost all full. We do have a few stacks of empties back here that I need to wash. But yeah, these are all chock full of mealworms at various stages of life, various sizes. Let's see if I can get a better view for you. So here's some that are a few months old. So you can see them in there. Actually, a few is too many. This is only about a month and a half. And so they'll grow. All these guys are just back here growing. And eventually we'll collect them, separate their frass out, separate sizes using that machine right there. That thing is amazing. I absolutely love that thing. Before that, I would use this self-made sifting tower that had different size mesh and trays in it. Different tiers. The frass would collect at the bottom, and I would manually shake these. And so we've moved up in the world quite a bit with the sifting machine. But yeah, we separate the sizes out, get the frass separated out, and there's larvae around here somewhere. What's that other machine? Let's see, other, do you mean that one? Yes, this is a pupa sifter. Let me get the tray off of it and you'll see. So they go on the top. That's a hopper. Go through that. This thing shakes back and forth, and then underneath these silver pieces are brushes that rotate. Wait, they rotate this way. And so they kind of brush the pupa to help get them loose and help them fall down, and then they brush the stuff that has fallen through. It comes out into this bottom tray, and then those go back and the larvae continue to pupate. The pupa come off of this top piece here and fall into that tray, which has bags in it just hanging out. But that's the pupa separator right now, pupa sifter. The manual one is around here somewhere, but we haven't used it in a few months, which is a good thing. That thing was terrible on hands. Like afterwards, my joints would just hurt. Sifter in action. Yes. Head over to the YouTube channel and search for Pupa or Sifter. Sifter will get you the new machine as well. Pupa will probably get it. P-U-P-A. There's multiple different ones. And if you go to the YouTube channel and search, what is it? I did a podcast. I'm using air quotes here. I did that Notebook LLM, the Google product podcast. The audio is the podcast, but the video is me doing that, using that machine over like 7 or 8 minutes. Oh man, I'm trying to remember what the heck I named that thing. I wonder if you search podcast on the YouTube channel, if that would find it. I can't remember. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. If you can't find it, message me. I'll be able to find it pretty quick once I'm in front of the computer. Okay, what am I doing? Oh yeah. Beetle swap. Alright, 4 more. It's 3:10. I gotta get these done in the next 20 minutes, so switch later this evening. Excellent. Oh, heathen. I was just grouping all stages together when I said mealworms. I raise them just not at scale. Oh yeah, and that works perfectly fine. You're gonna get people who are going to tell you, oh, that's not going to work, you can't keep them all together, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And it's like, yeah, you can. You're not going to have production at this scale, right? Like, in order to do this, you have to separate the stages, but if you keep them all together, you will still get mealworms. You can feed 2, 3, 4 reptiles with a single container of the right size, and it'll produce 100%. Okay, I keep coming over here and forgetting to bring my tools. Alright, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm trying to get a little out of breath because I'm moving around and talking, and when I get to talking, I short myself on breath, and I have this nice respirator on, so I'm going to take a moment and take some good breaths. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Check my CO2 levels in here. Yeah, they're a little high. Might need to turn on the fan. So we are doing beetle swap. My part-time employee was here. She and I did the traditional way that we've been doing for years. It's much easier now that she's here with 2 people. It only takes about 2 hours instead of 4.5 if I do it alone. But I just got these new mesh inserts. There's a fine line of mesh here, and what it does is it keeps the males from eating the eggs. Believe it or not, the males will eat their own eggs. Well, the females' eggs, and the males don't lay the eggs. The females will use their ovipositor to put the egg down through that mesh into the substrate below. And theoretically, I'll get more production this way because the eggs won't get eaten as much. And with the same amount of beetles, you'll get more mealworms. So hopefully, we got these just in time for all the fun economy stuff to go crazy. Hopefully this helps production increase so we get more sellable larvae and can keep our prices where they are. Whoop. Try not to make too much noise here. Dropping a tray, sorry. Hey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, if anybody here needs mealworms, I know a guy. I like to share all the processes that I do, all the things that we do here to take care of them, to raise them. I do not use hormones to get the giant mealworms. It's not even a line of business I'm really that interested in doing, because once you're using hormones, it becomes very difficult to convince people you're not doing it. So these mealworms are all natural. I separate some. I just meant when I said mealworms, I was just including all phases of life and more. Oh, I gotcha. I misread that. I understand now. Makes sense. Thank you for the clarification. I shook you guys around a little bit there. You're just like the Beetle, you're just shaking around. Alright, get out of here. What I'm trying to do is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a gap right back here between the mesh and the substrate below. And if there's a gap, it means that the female beetle doesn't have anything to lay on. And they will not lay in the open air. I tested that myself. I got that post from a long time ago. I posted it here, I posted it on YouTube, but they will not lay in the open air, so it's very important to close that gap. Alright, so those are done. I got two more. Can anybody guess what that is? I've mentioned it on a couple of videos. I don't know if I've shown it yet. Anybody know what that is? Very dubia also. I thought about doing dubia at one point even, but it wasn't high on the list. Next up for me is soldier fly larva. I'm going to get back to that. It wasn't high on the list. Next up for me is soldier fly larva. I'm going to get back to that. And little hint, that white container, that white 5-gallon bucket, we're fermenting, yes. But what is it that we're fermenting? Get some bran here first. It is not mash. We are actually fermenting food. So I got some bokashi bran. I got some food waste from myself and my neighbors. And we're going to test feeding it to the mealworms and to soldier fly larvae. And then build a food waste collection system for my town and raise bugs off of it. So first step though is to make sure they'll eat it. I'm a little worried the mealworms aren't going to like it because it'll be too acidic, but we'll figure that out if it's a problem and then figure out a solution. But yeah, that's the plan. You know, one of the things from a fermenting perspective even is, that I'm curious about is fermenting the mealworm frass. I've seen some research about frass's benefit to, it'll actually clear out the E. coli and salmonella potentially. That is an unproven claim. I'm not saying it does that. I'm saying that there's research that indicates it could. And so one of the things that'll be interesting is I'm working with a few people that we might be able to do some testing on that and try it out. See if we can get some solutions, share them with everybody. Alright. Only one more. Only one more, guys. I am short a container, I think. What did I do here? I need one of these. What did I do? I guess maybe I didn't get enough. Okay, let's go out to the storage area, get one. I'm gonna turn my magic light on. Ooh, there we go. Alright, I think I got about 10 more minutes. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm not a very good salesman, but I should say, if you need mealworms, head to midwestmealworms.com. Link in bio, as the kids say. If TikTok is listening, I would love to sell on the TikTok shop, but you do not allow live insects. So, kind of cut me out. Alright, last 2 scoops. Sorry to give you guys a close-up of the tray there. I would like to get a different recorder, but too much money. These take a lot longer to get to adult stage. Yeah, and they need better temperature, not better, higher than mealworms. So my thought was, let me walk back here, Wheaton. Or Heathen, sorry. Oh, get around this stuff. My thought was, like, let's see, we're using all the vertical space on it right there. Like these guys. Here's a good example. Like, there's just vertical space here. All I would have to do is build some sort of tower there that can lock into the beacon camp trays, and then raise, like, the temperature, the heat up there is much higher. Not much, like maybe 4 degrees, but it's higher. And so if I could put them up there and take advantage of that vertical space that's empty, that would be nice. But I want to get the mealworm process down, get it to where it's repeatable, get it to where I can have some employees running it, and get me into the soldier fly stuff so I can build the process for that and then share that out. And everyone will be able to process their food waste for their town in a micro scale. It's just a matter of time. We'll get there. I appreciate that. Hearing about having it down. Some days I feel like I know what the heck I'm... Some days I feel like I know what the heck I'm doing, and other days I'm not sure. And what I think's going on here is I think this mesh might be broken. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Get all the beetles out of here before they bury themselves. Get them out of these eggs first, and then I'll worry about the other tray. Yeah, I think there's a hole in there somewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. That's fine. This needs to go into something. I'm going to use this guy. Do some troubleshooting here. Yep. There's a hole. We've got a hole. Alright, let's get these guys off. I'm doing this for the camera. Trying to see what the heck I'm doing here. This is definitely not the way to do it officially from a tray swapping perspective. But there's a gap in there somewhere. Kind of wondered how large scale was done. I got a better idea than what I did. What I would say to that is, from an industry perspective, then I am micro, believe it or not. So what the industry is capable of right now is full automation, full-on machines, doing all of the work from a tray swapping, moving perspective. There are much bigger operations, and I don't mean places like China, which is still using manual labor. I mean like full-on true automation, robots moving stuff, doing stuff, etc. they'll do a lot of the same things, they'll just do it without my amazing muscles doing it. Okay, I'm going to set this tray aside because there's a hole somewhere, and I don't want to bore you guys by trying to find it. But that's okay. I'll do some research on that. I'm going to put him up here. And I need another mesh tray here. And luckily enough, here we are. Yeah, Heathen, I don't want to do it either. Like, this is plenty big for me. I enjoy the physical aspect of this right now. I'm capable and able to do it, luckily enough. My mom was in a wheelchair from when I was 10 years old until she passed away 2 years ago, so I have a unique perspective on the ability to move around. And I enjoy the physical labor while I can still do it. I don't want machines. I need them, and I mean like AI and, you know, automated robots, that sort of thing. I don't want them yet. I think if we can figure out the social impacts first, before we start throwing robots everywhere, that would be ideal. Alright, so those are done. Those, I'm not going to do that while I have you guys on me because I'll make everybody crazy, but I'm going to put them up there. So there's the ones I swapped before. I'm going to put the new stack up there. Did you say your grandma done it? No, my mom was in a wheelchair, if that's what you're referring to. Okay, gotta clean this up. Okay, this we can put back here. Okay, alright. I think I'm going to wrap up here in a minute. If anybody has any questions, toss them my way. I'm going to move this back here. See if I can do that without toppling over the stack here. And if you think of any questions after the fact, feel free to reach out to me. I'm not going to be able to get through here. I'm going to have to lift and move, so I'll do that when I'm done with you guys. I got these guys to deal with. Oh, these I can put outside. So I don't need these yet. Why are you wearing a mask? Excellent question, Goodsy. I'm wearing a mask because the mealworms, the wheat bran dust, and the frass dust are all allergens. And so they will trigger or cause all sorts of health issues. And so I wear the mask so that I can do this for a long, long time. If you are interested in raising your own mealworms, I highly suggest you wear a full-face respirator to protect your eyes and your lungs. You will get styes, you will get asthma, you will have lung issues. I guarantee it, and that's not a scare tactic. I can vouch for it. I have allergy-induced asthma. I had it before mealworms, and anytime I expose myself to the frass, it triggers that allergy. And then people who raise them and don't have those health issues will develop them over time. So it's not a scare tactic. It is a 100% fact. Yes, I do sell these, and that's why I'm mentioning, like, I'm not trying to scare you out of raising your own. I support it. I talked earlier in the live to somebody about raising their own. Maybe that was the live before, earlier today. I support it. I just want you to take the right safety precautions. Betty Boob, what are you doing? What kind of bug are you riding? Raising. I can't ride these. They're too small. I would need a lot of them. Well, maybe I do. No, I don't have enough to ride them. But these are mealworms. So these are actually the adults. So the adults are beetles, darkling beetles. These beetles will party hard, mate, lay eggs, and then those eggs turn into mealworms. You take the beetles out. There's eggs all in here. And then we collect the mealworms. That's what these are. Let's go look at them. Oh yeah. There's some pupa in there we gotta separate out so we can get more beetles. That's the good stuff right there. Okay. Sorry for the shaking. As much as they claim that these chest mount camera holders are fantastic. They do their fair bit of shaking. That's like yucky gold. Yes, it is, Googsy. Yes, it is. I am by no means a millionaire, but every time I see those mealworms, I get pretty happy. It means I'm doing something right. Feels good. Okay, so we'll put this here. How do you keep the beetles from escaping? These trays. So any clean vertical surface, they can't climb. And I say clean because the beetles specifically, if the sides of their trays get real dirty, you know, like let's say you're feeding your mealworms apples, and you throw in the apples from the same side every time, and eventually you get some apple juice, and you get some bran that starts sticking to it. Those guys will just climb right up and climb out. But because it's clean plastic, they can't get out. So they're stuck in there. But I take care of them. It's 80 degrees Fahrenheit in here year round, 50% humidity. They get food, they get water. Oh my goodness. They're living the dream life. They get to party hard. They get to do their thing with each other, if you know what I mean. They're living the life. Alright folks, we are going to wrap things up, and by we I mean me, because at the end of the day I'm kind of tired. But let me turn you around here, show you some gratitude. Thank you guys for jumping on. Hey, I'm Justin. I've been the guy behind this the whole time, and this is my mealworm farm. MidwestMealworms.com. Shameless plug. I should do that, right? If you need any mealworms or have any questions about live mealworms, I'll be here. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks for all the likes, all the follows. I appreciate it. Have a good day.